Okay, this is Fishburne Judgment, or?
Yeah, we're here on the issue of possession, Your Honor. Robert Golding on behalf of the plaintiff, Sunfire LLC.
Okay. Curtis Fosti on behalf of Pamela Portia Johnson, who resides in the house. All right. Are we ready to proceed? We are. Okay. Want to call your first witness?
Call Ways out. Do you want to testify from the stand, Your Honor?
Sure, you can take the stand. Sir, you want to take the stand up here? Want to stand and be sworn, sir? Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Could you please state your name for the record and tell the court your address?
This is Wei Zhao. I'm a member of Sunfire LLC in Munster, Indiana.
Okay, I'm going to show you a document here which I'd like to, if I may approach the witness, Your Honor. I can mark this as Plaintiff's Exhibit A. Can you identify that document for the court, Your Honor?
What I have in front of me is a tax deed issued against the property at 7132 Ash Place in Gary, Indiana, where Sunfire LLC has acquired the properties through tax sale with a tax deed recorded on March 27th in the court office.
How much did you pay for that property, sir?
$20,000.
After you received and recorded this tax deed, did you go to this house?
Yes, after the deed had been recorded, I went to the house to try to take possession of it.
And what happened when you tried to take possession?
I was surprised that someone was apparently inside.
Why did that surprise you?
Because by issuing the tax deed, I assumed the ownership of it, and there's also no indication of anyone living there as well.
Did you contact NIPSCO to find out anything about the utilities?
Yes, before I went, I tried to assess the utility information with the plan of taking possession to see where we are on having utility stand up, and I was told there's no utility at the time. That was back in March of this year.
No utility?
There's no utility on this property.
To the best of your knowledge, are the utilities on today?
I do not know. I don't have latest information on that.
Has anybody contacted you from NIPSCO asking you if they could turn the utilities on in there?
Nobody did.
Okay. Have you been paying the bills on this property since then?
Yes, I paid the property tax bill in May. That's the first installment of 2012 tax, and as well as insurance for this property.
I'm going to ask that the court reporter mark the property tax bill as Exhibit B and this insurance document as Exhibit C. To show these to counsel because I didn't have copies of this report. So if you mark them, I'll show them to counsel.
Any objections? No objections, Your Honor. Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to identify and tell the court what these documents are.
Exhibit B is the receipt of property tax bill paid at Lake County through Chase Bank, dated on May 7th for the amount of $567.18. That's the first installment due amount on the tax bill. Exhibit C is the receipt from Shelter Insurance, who underwrites insurance on this property for the dollar amount of $231.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit Exhibits A, B, and C into evidence.
There's been no objection, okay.
When you went to the house, did you meet anyone there?
Yes, there's the lady opened up the door.
Okay, do you know who the lady was? Did she identify herself to you by name?
No.
Okay, is this the lady that you met there?
It could be. It's been half a year already. It fits her description, but I'm not 100% sure it's the same person.
Did she say anything to you?
She yelled at me and asked me to leave.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
She yelled at me and asked me to leave.
And what did you do?
I left.
Have you had any other contact with her?
No.
Have you received any rental payments on this house since you took ownership of it pursuant to this tax deed?
No, I received nothing.
That's all I have of this witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Excuse me, Ryan, just a second. Sir, when you went to the house, were you alone?
No. I actually had my wife there, and I also scheduled a contractor to be with me because we're thinking of doing initial assessment of the property.
Okay, did you or your wife go in the mailbox and take some mail?
Yes. We thought we were going to start them from the outside.
Was that when the person that came to the door was what you say yelled at you?
Yeah. And then we put the mail we collected back.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down.
I think that's all I have on the plaintiff's case in chief, Your Honor. We're asking for possession of the real estate based upon my client being the owner.
Your Honor, my client has written out a statement. May I approach and give you a copy of it?
Can she testify?
Sorry that her statement speak for her.
I can read the statement.
Well, I mean, she's got to be under oath.
Okay.
That's fine, Your Honor. She's sworn in.
You want, can you, yeah, she get this. Okay, take this. Ma'am, you want to raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you solemnly swear affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and the best of your knowledge? Please be seated.
I would present you a document. Mark it, is it one? Sure. And 6 of the ones.
She's going to read it into the record. I mean, we don't need it.
Okay.
Your Honor, for the record, I know it's small claims court. I'm going to object to the relevance of the statement.
Well, if it's her testimony, I don't have read it. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Not reading. I'm not going to read it. She can read it. Go ahead, man.
Please continue.
My residence for the past 42 years, 7132 Ash Place, Gary, Indiana, is a loving home with pleasant memories. Johnny, Shirley, Pamela Portia, and Patrick Johnson remain model citizens. As the current resident, I must remind the court that I am currently the recording secretary of the Area Citizens Club. On Saturday, September 14th, more than half of the residents of the Miller area will gather for an annual fest which I helped plan. There are other daily activities worthy of attention, such as 25 years teacher of piano and drama for the Gary Historical and Cultural Society founded by Mrs. Dorothea Dolly Millender. 25 years broadcasting professional honored by National Public Broadcasting in Washington, D.C.
Are you objecting?
I'm objecting based on relevance, Your Honor. I just thought small claims court,
Okay, I mean, where are we going with this, Colin?
If I could continue,
Yes, ma'am.
it'll wrap.
All right, go ahead.
All right. 10 years in Northwest Indiana Quality of Life Council, 10 years Board of Directors, member Lakeshore Public Media. 1973 graduate of Taylor University in Upland, Indiana, which was named #1 college in the Midwest region by U.S. News and World Report on Tuesday, September 10th, 2013. I am currently in communication with former employees with the desire to assist me in remaining in the aforementioned address. The residence and the tax issue and sale are also in discussion by Patrick, son of Johnny and Shirley Johnson, with his attorney. Because Patrick and Pamela Portia are the heirs of the property that was owned by Johnny and Shirley, I implore the court to grant an extension which will allow all parties an opportunity for a fair and just decision. Your Honor, thank you for this consideration. Pamela Portia Johnson.
Portia, we've discussed the issue of back taxes, have we not?
Yes, we have.
And we have discussed that the plaintiffs in this matter bought the houses for tax sale. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have we discussed your intention to make an offer to them to purchase this property?
objection, Your Honor. It's, offers of settlement or compromise are not admissible. I don't know where we're going with all this.
Well,
Your Honor, in her statement, she indicates that she's in ongoing discussion and is basically hopeful that this court will grant her an extension so she can complete those discussions to make a bona fide offer to the plaintiffs.
Your Honor, we are aware that,
there's been a mediation.
have we been to mediation? No. But
We haven't.
Here's the issue, Your Honor. My client has waited patiently over 6 months now, and the issue is that, the first issue is this. There's no utilities on in this house. I don't know how this lady is living in that house with no utilities
Why
on.
don't you ask her? She's on the stand. You get
All
a
right.
chance to
I'm gonna, if he's done, if I may cross-examine now, Your Honor.
Are you done?
Just a second. Portia, how serious are these discussions you have with the individuals you've had to raise the money to make a bona fide offer?
Extremely serious, and they stem from the fact that my family, and particularly in this case myself, I'm an upstanding member of the community, always involved in the most productive.
Well, ma'am, that's not in dispute. That you're going to stand.
It has something to do with the fact that I'm a spinster, I'm residing there alone, and
The question is, let's start right there, the utilities.
Portia, would you indicate to the court why there are no utilities in the house, if that is true?
I left the utilities in my parents' name, and they
This was
really,
your parents' house originally?
this is where I grew up, 42
Okay.
years of growth, and my brother all of his life of growth in the house.
So you've never been married or?
I've never married, I've never had children,
Okay.
and I've always paid bills on time.
All right.
But I am not knowledgeable about the law, And so I simply continued paying absolutely everything as I had watched my mom and dad do. And I continued my community involvement as I had watched my mom and dad.
So are you able to get the utilities in that property turned on?
I've consistently been an employed writer, an employed person of the arts, and an administrator within the arts. Yes,
So my question is, I guess you're going to ask the question, counsel, and she get utilities put on in the house?
Your Honor, that's the crux of my client's issue here is that we don't believe she has the ability to get the utilities turned on. If I may inquire of the witness, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, first of all, Your Honor, I need to identify the witness here. What did you state your name is?
My name is Pamela, first name, Portia, second name, Johnson, last name of my father.
And am I correct, your mother has passed?
Shirley Maria Johnson passed away in March 2000.
March of 2000. All right, ma'am. I want to show you a copy of a notice that was sent to you. As the court reporter marked this, I guess we're up to a plaintiff's D. I'm going to tender a copy of this to opposing counsel, and available for the court's inspection is the original return receipt card, Your Honor. Could you look at areas A and B on this card, and on the first page there, and tell me whose purported signature that is?
This is not a forged signature of Shirley Johnson.
Ma'am, I didn't ask you that.
This is not a forged signature of Shirley Johnson. Since this was 12 years after her death, and I was expecting communication about my LakeCo and all of those kinds of things, I was expecting communication. All of those communications would be in Johnny or Shirley's name. So I did need to know about the deposits and about the status.
Are you telling me, ma'am, that the post office wouldn't deliver this to you if you didn't sign Shirley's name to it?
I don't know.
Speculation.
Well, what is it?
I don't know. I just know that I was capable of
I have
paying.
to ask the question. She says her mother passed 10 years ago, yet there's a return receipt card that purports to be signed by Shirley Johnson. I just don't understand.
And all of the utilities come in her name, and I paid them. And I had to see if there was any information on those.
Who sent? Well, you sent this.
It was sent for the tax sale notices, Your Honor.
But, Your Honor, we've had testimony, and there's been no objection that Shirley Johnson died in 2000. Why are they sending a notice to a dead person?
She was a registered property owner.
I can introduce the title search into evidence as well, Your Honor. I ask that this title search be marked as plaintiff's exhibit E.
There was never an estate opened here to transfer this property, man. You know what an estate is?
I don't know those.
When your mother died, who was the last one to die? Your mother or your father?
Mom was.
And who was the property supposed to go to?
It would be Patrick Johnson and myself.
Okay, it's
They
your
just lived
brother?
there happily.
Patrick's your brother?
Yes.
Did you go to the court to get the name put out of your name, out of your mother and father's name and into your name?
This is the first time anybody said anything like that to me.
Well,
So I just kept paying bills.
how would you own the property if you didn't do that?
We called it ours before we...
Did you, and you consulted with how many lawyers, and none of them have told you to open up an estate?
This is the first time I've heard those words.
Uncle?
Your Honor, I entered this case in April, and I did discuss the matter with her.
Why hasn't some estate been opened up to take some jurisdictions over this whole thing?
We have attempted to contact her brother.
You don't need a brother to open up an estate.
Yes, I know. I understand, Your Honor.
Are you entering this exhibit, or?
If the court will accept the copy, I'd like to admit exhibits D and E into evidence, Your Honor. D being the return receipt card.
I mean, technically, well, I guess now title is more screwed up than it ever was. So, I don't know if the state would be moved at this point.
Ma'am, isn't it true that attempts have been made to contact your brother in Texas?
At my request.
And have those attempts been successful?
Indeed, because he's interested in my welfare.
But has your brother responded to any attempts counsel has made to communicate with him?
I've indicated in the statement that he is in communication with attorneys.
Ma'am, I'm talking about your statement with all due respect. Do you have any knowledge that your brother has actually responded to these attempts to communicate with him?
I wouldn't have said that the residence and the tax issue and the sale are also in discussion by Patrick, son of Johnny and Shirley Johnson, with his attorney.
Ma'am.
We don't know legal talk. And so that,
okay, let's not talk legal talk then. Let's talk about your financial ability to safely live in this home. Is there electric service to this home? Yes or no, please? Electricity.
My parents bought a great deal of things that are run by batteries, so I just picked up their habit.
So there's no electric service in this house? Yes
When they saw that it wasn't in my name?
Is it not now, though? When was the last time you paid a NIPSCO bill?
When they saw that it wasn't in my name, I was disconnected from service.
Okay. When was the last time there was gas service in this house?
Again, it was several weeks before before the electric service. They went on at different times. I was fully paid, except it wasn't in my name.
Is there water service?
No such thing.
Is there water service in the house, ma'am?
There's no water service because only weeks before everything happened, my water, that heat thing started buzzing. So I turned my main jet off, the main water thing. I did that because my dad had shown me where it was.
And how can you safely and healthfully live in that house with those kind of conditions?
I resided on the street for 42 years with individuals who know, love, and respect me. They looked at me integrate Taylor University in Upland, Indiana, and respected and regarded me for it, and they felt their nation.
When she said live on the street, of course, would you explain in the house on the street?
7132 Ash Place. The entire area knows me, respects me, regards me, and helps me.
Oh, she's talking about the street that she lives on.
Yes.
7132
Yes,
Ash.
not on the streets.
Are there two?
They know that I'm living right on the streets, therefore they know that I require their help.
Are there two junk cars in the driveway, ma'am?
1999, mother purchased a Chevy Cavalier, a Chevy Caprice in 1990. She drove it to her place of employment, and it was running when she passed away in March 2000. I continued to drive the automobile to
Let me
and from wherever I wanted. I purchased my Cavalier.
Okay.
I'm not leaving my mom's
Could you
car.
stop for a minute? Let me ask a question. Has there been an offer made to purchase this from your client?
There's nothing concrete, Your Honor. And if I may just speak to this whole issue, Your Honor, it's not a question of my client wanting to take a home away from somebody. It's a question of this fine lady's financial capacity to live in this home in a safe, healthful manner. And it's obvious, I think, to everybody that she can't do that because she lacks the financial capacity to do that. if there were a way to keep her in this home and have the bills all be paid, have the taxes paid, have the place kept clean, have the junk cars towed away, my client would try to work something out with her. The problem here is that there's nothing concrete. I hear from counsel that, she's trying to apply for various benefits and stuff, but this has been going on for 6 months. And frankly, I just have a real difficult time as a human being seeing somebody that's going to live in there in the cold with this upcoming winter. I mean, this is not a situation that my client's conscience wants to deal with, having somebody being in there in the cold in the winter. It's just a horrible thought.
May I respond?
1 minute. Counsel, is there something on the table that's viable?
Nothing in concrete, yes. Yet.
Viable?
No.
I mean, is it viable that she can purchase this property?
Not at this time, Your Honor, no.
And what will make it be viable?
Well, it was this morning that my client presented me with her statement that she read, which indicated to me there were some matters that she hadn't brought to my attention before about possibilities. Her contact with her brother and other former
Ma'am,
employers.
what income do you have right now? Not what's coming
I'm a
from...
graduate,
No.
1973,
How much money
and
do you...
since that time, I have been a
Where are you
consultant.
employed?
I have been a consultant as well as a freelance arts administrator.
And how much do you make for doing it?
I make varying amounts as well as continuously employed as an instructor of writing in the various institutions that we
And how
have.
much do you make doing it? Do you make a
Myself.
salary?
2000 to 2011, I made an adequate salary, and I maintained every single
What is
bill
an
that came to the house.
Ma'am,
I'm saying it was
today, what are you
in
making
excess
now?
of $30,000, and it paid everything.
You made
Now,
$30,000 a year.
I became halted because I realized that I wasn't taking advantage of the various tax breaks and et cetera. And that is why those certain tax years, because I was getting that information. I was attempting to be businesslike, knowing that I was the only one handling things, but knowing that I'm a capable-minded person. I handle things for 11 years.
now? What did you make in 2012?
2012, I've never under-earned 20,000.
Okay, but why don't you have NIPSCO water in your home?
Because there's the situation of, what do you call it, the deposits, and because of this kind of complexity. I'm just not aware of all of these things that do go on for...
If I ordered you today, would you be able to get the gas, the water, and the electricity turned on in that house through NIPSCO?
If you were to ask me...
I asked you if I ordered you to do that within 2 days.
I would tell you that all of this I did not know could happen to a home. I'd be fearful of doing it and putting my money in deposits.
It's not your money in the bill. If you put it in deposit, you would get it back. Correct?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Didn't know that either.
You would get that back.
People don't tell people things. They did
You
not know.
ask, you would learn. You have to ask. You're educated.
Your Honor.
Well educated you are, so you
No, Your
obviously know how to
Honor.
ask
No,
questions.
Your Honor. I'm a spinster. We are treated differently and unkindly in this culture. I have asked. I want to know these things. I've asked. I've whined. I've cried. I've done what I could.
Man, by looking at you, no one would know you were a spinster unless you told them. So if you ask a question, I'm sure you would get a right answer. You have to ask the questions, and you'll get an answer. For who? Who's us?
We're a particular group of people that doesn't happen for us. We're maligned and we're ignored.
Well, I find that hard to believe, but it's possible. I mean, if I ask the question, will I get my deposit back? Somebody won't answer me. That makes no sense. Everybody wants business.
And,
LakeCo wants business. They want their gas on. That's how they make money.
and
So they want to answer your questions because that's how they make money.
And the moment one of you 5 gentlemen stands behind me and repeats the question, I get an answer. That has become quite ordinary.
Okay, so you're telling me today that you could get the utilities turned on in that property. You have the funds to do it.
And my brother doesn't want me not to do it. He's communicating.
I'm not asking your brother. I'm asking you. Are you able to do it? Is that a yes? You have to answer out loud.
Yes.
And how are you planning on, let's say that you could purchase this property. How are you planning to purchase the property? Where else are you going to get the funds?
Over the last few months,
Before I go any further, I don't want to get into a compromise. Has there been a price established?
I've thrown out a number to opposing counsel.
Is it an acceptable number?
Well, they had paid $20,000 in tax sale. They paid taxes, one, and I think a second.
You want
plus the
his money
insurance.
back? Is that what he wants?
Well, the offer was closer, or the response was closer to 45 than to 25.
I have to start somewhere, Your Honor.
Okay. So, somewhere between 25 and 45,000?
It's,
that where we're at?
I think if my client just got his investment back plus a little return on it, it would be at least $25,000.
Wouldn't she have to pay, let's say she redeemed it at tax sale, if it hadn't gone all the way? Wouldn't she have to pay?
She paid 10% on the $20,000 plus the attorney fees and title search costs, which is probably another $600 or $700. So it'd be like $2,700 on top. Plus she'd pay the subsequent taxes he paid. Plus he's out money for insurance and probably a few other sundry
About
items.
$25,000, is that what we're looking at?
Well, I'd have to talk to my client
a little bit more.
whether he'd want to do that. The issue here, Your Honor, is not a willingness on my client's part to negotiate.
Her ability to do it.
It's her ability to do it, and
Well,
frankly,
that's why we're going to have a date here, where she has to do it by, or she can or she can't.
I think that's reasonable, Your Honor.
I mean, I would give her 30 days to get out anyway.
I understand.
So back to you, ma'am. How much time do you need to raise this money?
60 days. I've been in conversation with numerous people.
I understand if you don't have it, whatever time we agree on it, if you don't have it by then, you're going to have to move. You understand this man, right now, technically, he's the owner of that property.
Now I understand, and I didn't know anything that said this to people. So, can you perhaps give me 90 days to
I
communicate
don't
with
know about
everyone?
90 days.
90 days would be,
I don't know,
would be
man.
very pleasant for me, and all will be done, and
But we have to consider this gentleman. How long has this been going on?
Well, we filed this claim for eviction back in March, so it's been going on over 6 months now. And here's the other thing, Your Honor. As a gardener, I can tell you the frost-free date in this area is like October 15th.
Well, we
We're going to be
get
getting into freezing. And here's the other problem with the utilities. They've been off for more than 90 days. Gary's going to demand to do an inspection. NIPSCO won't let you turn them on without an inspection. And we don't know, judging by I've seen this house personally, it's probably built back in the early 60s, I'm guessing, and it's probably not going to pass. It probably needs upgrades. And who's going to fund that?
Well, let's see if that's a problem before we do it.
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, first things first, no matter how much time I give you, you're going to get those utilities turned on right away. Because the reason I want them turned on, just in case you can't get the property, you don't want it to be any worse shape. You don't want to get any worse because there's no utilities. All right? I'm going to order you to immediately get a hold of NIPSCO and get the process started, get a hold of the city of Gary to schedule a inspection. Call the building department. They usually get out there within a week, 10 days. So Gary will get there within 10 days.
Well, I think she's in touch with Catholic Charities, Your Honor, and they tell me that they're experts in doing this sort of thing, so.
I can't speak for them other than that they did hire me to represent.
Well, I talked to a representative from Catholic Charities at one point.
Catholic Charities hired you to represent her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, well, then you can do it through Catholic Charities. Let's get the NIPSCO turned.
Okay.
All right, now the issue is how much time we're going to give her.
Well, I have to ask on behalf of my client that it be no more than 30 days.
Counsel.
Your Honor, I would request 60 days. I think that's a reasonable amount, considering probably the first 2 weeks you're going to need it because it's actually...
Catholic Charities working on her, working with her to get the money to...
I can't say that, Your Honor. I can't confirm that. My impression from them is they hired me to represent her when this suit was first filed. They called me the night before the first case, April 3rd. I entered by coincidence or circumstance. It was before Judge Pagano, who is the stepson of the gentleman I work for, Mr. Foster. So that's why it was transferred.
Do you think you two can come up with a price to put in the order so she knows what she has to come up with? She can't come up with it by the date.
I'll have to consult with my client.
We can...
Can we just chat a bit with my client after court, and we'll tell the bailiff or somebody what we've agreed upon?
Okay, and if you can't agree, I'll stick around. Chat here.
Okay.
Stick around.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks, Judge.
Then we'll go from there. All right, man? You're going to talk to them, you're going to sit down right now, and you're going to figure out how much you got to come up with. And we'll give you how much time you have to come up with. Okay? All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Then you can put that, if you agree, just put it in the order, all the parties sign the order, submit it. If you can't agree, let me know.
Okay, Judge. Thank you.
All right.